priceless experiences. Napa Valley wine tasting, spoiling my women friends. Sitting at the table with millionaires. The narrative is tax loops, accounts offshore squares. It's not allowed.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back to Coin Gang Ministries. It is a great time to be alive. And as always, if you can see me, press 1. And if you can hear me, press 2. And I don't want to waste no time with today's message. I want to actually get right into it. So if everything is fine on your end, then we'll go along with the show. So I'll wait for those 1s and I'll wait for those 2s to let me know that everything is A1. Again, welcome to Coin Gang, the number one place for personal development, the home of the abstract thinkers and out the box philosophies. Today, we're going to talk about signs and symbols. We're going to talk about real time is emotional. Real time is emotional. All right. So if you ever want to know what time it is, tap into your emotions, right? Because we're not actually taught emotional intelligence. So we use our emotions in the wrong way. But we're going to talk about how to tap into your emotions to actually tell what time it is. And we're going to talk about the only present is the present. You know how you receive a present? But the real true present is the present. And again, happy Sunday, and it's a great time to be alive. And if you're new here, we follow the Coin Gang Constitution. And you don't need me to be around to follow it. And it goes a little something like this. You have heaven now. Heaven now. Heaven now means is that's what you expect with your stay on earth. So heaven in your marriage, your finance, your relationships, heaven in your health, heaven in your finances, heaven in every space of your life. That's important because the old folks taught them, and bless them, but the old folks taught us that when we die is when we'll receive heaven. Well, I'm telling you that you can get heaven on earth in every place, right? In every place of your life. There was a man born, man is born, man suffers, man dies. Well, we want to remix that, right? You can't stop suffering. It's going to happen. You're going to experience pain. You're going to experience loss. But inside of that, you can also experience heaven on earth. You're going to have to balance it out because you're going to hurt. Your loved ones are going to pass away. You're going to feel pain. But the balance of that is heaven now. Necessary narcissism. I know narcissism is a dirty word, but over here we practice abstract thinking. So we can take the positive aspects of narcissism and use it in our lives, like inflated sense of importance. I have an inflated sense of importance because the world tells me that I'm a slave. The world tells me that I'm marginalized. The world tells me that I'm a second-class citizen, but I don't believe none of that. Okay, so I practice an inflated sense of importance because I don't subscribe to none of that ideology. I'm not a slave. I'm not a second-class citizen. I'm not underneath anybody. I'm not oppressed. I don't believe in white supremacy. I don't believe in any of those things because I have an inflated sense of importance. Okay? Do without will, but no harm. What that means is do whatever you want, but don't do others any harm. Simple. A lot of times our pursuits hurt others. Well, I'm telling you, you can do whatever you want, whatever your heart desires, as long as you don't hurt anyone else. Value for value, very simple. You got value, I got value. Let's exchange our value, right? Basically, fair exchange, no robbery. Selfish now, so you could be selfless later. When your cup runneth over, then you're able to seed into other people. But first, you got to take care of yourself. And I know that that's not preached to us. It's just do for others, do for the community. yo, you have to take care of yourself and do for yourself first. It is totally fine to do that, all right? Basically, top shelf or nothing. What that means is you have an expectation of the best. Personally, I'm a Bentley guy. That's what I like. You might like a Honda, but just make sure it's the best Honda and you keep it tight, right? So whatever you're doing, all your spaces in life, top shelf, all right? Root chakra activation, what that is your lower self, your lower nature, everything popping. Food, clothes, and shelter popping. Do not be afraid of your lower self. Activate your lower nature, okay? Because it's in there that you're going to find the kingdom of heaven. And I'll talk about that at another time. And lastly, 9 on the dope. What that means is you put out the best work, whether you're the janitor, whether you're a blogger, whether you're a model, a rapper, a poet, whatever you do is a 9 on the dope. What that means is your work and your contribution, your public offering is the best. All right. So I just wanted to go over that for anybody that was new here and some of our returning people so we can rehash and understand our Constitution. Man, I have a great message for you guys today on this Good Sunday. And I'm glad that you're here. Before we get into it, we're going to take 10 seconds so we could do a call to action. Be right back. If you haven't liked the video yet, smash that like button and share this video with everybody you know. All right, listen. Have you ever laid in the bed with somebody and you guys are looking in each other's eyes? You making all these promises. I love you, you love me. We're always going to be like this, right? And then one day you can't stand the person, right? I know that's happened to me. I've looked over at somebody and said, you know what, we're always going to be doing this. We're always going to be together. You're the love of my life. I'm the love of your life, right? Nothing is going to change. And then time happens. That's also happened with some things I've done in the past, right? Things I've done in the past, I don't do anymore. And it's not like I said I didn't want to do it anymore. It just changed. Things that was important to me is not important now. Things that I look forward to, I don't look forward to it anymore. What happened? Time happened. See, now that I'm of age, I understand about the meaning of time and place. There really is a season for everything. And everything that we do, here's the ironic thing about life, because it's everything and nothing at the same time. Let me explain that. I don't care who you love right now. That relationship is everything and nothing at the same time. It's both. It's everything and nothing. Your job is everything and nothing. The experiences that you're having, it's everything and nothing at the same time, because while it's going on, there's a point in time where it's over. Whether you guys break up or health concerns or something happens. So the thing that you love the most and you're into and you're diving headfirst in, there's a point in time that it doesn't exist, because everything is nothing at the same time, simultaneously. So let's get into that for a second. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, right? To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the sun. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love, a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. So everything we do is associated with an opposite. The person that you love could be the person that you hate the most, right? The more money you get, the more you'll be poor somewhere. Ironically, when you're the most poor, if you tap into it, there's an area that you're rich. Life always follows us in this dual nature. Everything has a pair: male, female, up, down, God, devil, Bible, Quran, white, black, dumb, smart, rich, poor, wet, dry, land, sea, everything. Interesting, huh? Right? So everything that we're going through, there's a time and a place for it. There's a time to dislike people. There's a time to be in love. And there's a time to be alone, right? There's a time to fast, and then there's a time to be gluttonous. There is a time for greed, and there's a time for philanthropy. There's a time to hate. There is time to love. And we got to obey the times that we're in. And the way that we obey the times that we're in is based on being able to read signs and symbols. Signs and symbols. Are we going to do good in class today? All right. So this is a sign. Okay. A sign has a call to action associated with it. It gives us direction. It lets us know where to go. Right. Signs are the things that communicate something to you. Again, it's a call to action. A sign is a guide. The thing about signs is we ignore the signs because if we don't, there's a behavior associated with the sign telling us to do something. Okay? You know how a relationship goes stale, or people find themselves in domestic abuse, or the woman that the man was once in love with all of a sudden leaves them? Everybody say the same thing. You know what? I never seen the signs. That's not true. That's not true. There's a sign for everything. We just don't know how to read them. I'll give you an example, and then I want y'all to give me examples of signs, okay? So, you're out on your first date. We'll make this very easy. You're out on the first date, male or female, doesn't matter. And the person is being very disrespectful to the waiter. Maybe they're brushing them off. Maybe they are undervaluing them, right? Do you know something like that happens on first dates? Or we might be outside walking, right? And there's a homeless person. It's not the fact that they didn't give him anything. It's the fact of how they said it. It's the fact how they treated them. You know, an elderly person is around and they don't change their language. These things can be very, very subtle. Did you pay attention to the signs? So when they do something as when the relationship is moving that you dislike, or you are shocked that the relationship ended, there were signs. You didn't want to see them because signs come with a call of action. You like them. So because you like them, you put the like over the sign. But when we're driving, if we don't follow the signs, we're never going to get to our destination. The sign is telling you half a mile, exit. But because you don't feel like it, now you're in a wrong city. You took a wrong turn. Now you're late for your conference. You're late for an interview. You are late for something that can change your life. Whether you can pay attention to signs or not, do you know that determines life or death sometimes? That determines whether you're coming or going. That determines the season that you're in. Are you able to read signs? oh man, I can't believe that man put his hands on me. Why not? Why are you surprised? You didn't see how he treated that person when you first met? Or you liked the car? The sex is fire. I understand. Trust me. Right? Oh, this is the most beautiful woman that you've ever seen before. But she don't have any friends. You didn't pay attention to the signs? Hmm? Oh, you liked when she said, I don't do nothing but go to work and come home. You liked that. You looked at that as a way for you to put her under your wing and she can pay full attention to you. She didn't have no outside activities, no hobbies, nothing to aspire to. You thought that was wifey status because in your mind, you can come in with a level of control. And guess what she winds up doing? Making you the center of her world, and that ends up ruining your life. You didn't pay attention to the signs that she has no women friends. She has no OGs. She's not connected to anything. She didn't say, oh, I go to work and I go to yoga. Oh, I go to work and I travel. Oh, I got a sisterhood. Oh, I got a book club. No, no, no. She said, I don't do nothing but go to work and come home. That means there's nothing else filled inside of her life. Signs. Oh, you looked at the car. You looked at he's 6'5". Huh? Upper body on 10. But the first date y'all hung out, he had something negative to say about the woman that he has kids with. And you overlooked it. You thought it was cute when he said something negative about another woman. Because you know what you said after? Shit, well, that ain't me. You joined in to help him bash a woman. And then when he bashes you, you got a sob story. Why? You didn't pay attention to the signs. There's a call to action that is connected to the sign. Signs tell you to do things, right? Animals know signs. They're able to look at when a change in the weather. They begin to start preparing for the winter. They start flying, birds begin to fly down south. They're able to pay attention to signs. You can look at the leaves. It's telling you that the season is changing. Signs. Can you guys give me shoot me some signs? Let's just say in relationships. When you first meet, and I'm gonna put them on the screen. Can you give me any signs and tell me the call of action? What are the red flags? What are the signs that people give you when you first meet? What are the signs? I just gave you an example of a waiter, gave you an example of someone not having any reverence for anybody older, right? Okay. Jealousy, that's a good one, right? Jealousy, they show that early, right? And you think that you can change it, all because you don't want to follow the call of action. The call of action is saying, leave him alone. This is funny. He always calls when he's in his car. Okay. All right. What is that a sign of? What's that a sign of? Huh? What is this a sign of? He always calls when he's in the car. What is that a sign of? Huh? Now you got to be able to read the signs because it could be true or not. Someone says he has a wife. How would you know for sure? You got to be able to read the signs and symbols. You got to be able to read the signs and symbols. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But if you play your hand wrong and accuse him, that could you might miss a mark right there. Right? And I'm gonna give you I'm a it's a good Sunday. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you one. Shout out to you. I'm gonna give you one I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna go ahead and give you one. When that money come through, I just transform. I'm gonna go ahead and give you one of them. I'm gonna go ahead and give you one. Shout out to you, Pete. That's what's up. Let's get back to it. Signs. It's telling you where you at, right? It's telling you where you at. Don't miss the sign, right? Don't miss the sign because you're gonna end up in the wrong place. Now, signs and symbols, they go together. These are symbols. Everybody comes with signs and symbols. Now, what is a symbol? A symbol is something that stands for something else. All right? A sign communicates something to you. Okay? A sign communicates something to you. Okay? Gives you a call to action, telling you to do something. All right? But a symbol is something that stands for something else. It's a deeper meaning. All right? These are all symbols. Right? If a man wants to take care of a woman, he says, I got you. I'm going to fund you. What could that be a symbol of? And if a woman is for the streets, what symbol would she give off that would represent that? So let's go with the man first. If a man says he wants to take care of a woman, what could that symbol represent? Now, it looks like the bags, the purses, even the wedding ring. I got you. That's dope, right? Because it symbolizes a provider, right? Okay, two things can be true. But what could it also symbolize? Now, you're going to have discernment to be able to read into the symbol. Because the symbol represents 1,000 different type of pictures. A picture is worth 1,000 words, but a symbol is worth 1,000 pictures. Now, it could symbolize that he is just a great man and he's into you. It can. But it can also symbolize controlling, abusive. It could symbolize he's a monster. Now, here's the thing. Here's why you got to connect the sign and the symbol. Because how would you know? How would you know if this is a good man or if this is a controlling man without finding out 8-10 years later? How would you be able to tell this immediately? All right, the symbol is the gifts. What are the signs to determine if this individual is either a good man or a monster? What are the signs? Because it's going to be very, very hard to see the signs if the symbol, that money is on the table, right? He coming through. Because this is what all women want, right? You want a man to take that load off of your shoulders. You want a man to step in and handle stuff, masculinity, right? Okay. But do you know how to read signs and symbols? So if the money is on the table and the gifts are presented, this is a symbol of something. Is it a symbol of his love or is it a symbol of his insecurity? He can also hate you. You can give gifts to people that you hate. How would you know? Ladies, how would you know? What are the signs? Is this man loving or is he a monster? But here's the thing though, a monster can love. Remember, up, down, left, right, everything is connected to each other. Look at this. Remember this. 1 second. Remember this. Remember, it's a time for everything, a season for everything. Everything comes in pairs. To everything, there's a season, a time and a time to every purpose under the sun. A time to be born, time to die. Come in pairs. A time to plant and a time to pluck up which is planted. Pairs. A time to kill and a time to heal in pairs. A time to break down and a time to build up. Pairs. A time to weep and a time to laugh. That comes in pairs. A time to mourn and a time to dance. You see this duality occur at a funeral. People mourn and then we eat. It's hours apart from when you are mourning and then all of a sudden you go to the family member's house and everyone is laughing and you're remembering moments about them. The kids are playing. Huh? A time to mourn, a time to dance. So this person can be a monster and love at the same time. Symbols. How would you know? How would you know? Because what if they are a loving monster? How would you be able to identify the monster? Because it's not going to come out until you are dependent on the symbols. Oh, he does love me though. He does love me. So every time he does something monstrous, it's followed up by a symbol. You like bags. You like those things. Okay. I'll tell you how to determine this. You determine this by being immune to the symbols. So you can see the signs. The signs give you direction. The symbol means 1,000 different pictures. If you're not immune to the symbols, you won't see the signs. The Christian cross is a symbol of what though? Some would say Christ's crucifixion. But is it that? Or was that a torture mechanism of the Romans? It's a symbol to you of Christ giving up the ghost for the sins of mankind. Remember though, a symbol's worth 1,000 pictures. But the cross is actually a torture method of the Romans at that time. It would take a person days to die. Okay? You have to be immune to the symbol so you can pay attention to the signs. And we live in a world of symbolism. You'll see a couple in pictures and say, that's goals. How do you know that's goals? So you focused on the look of it, but there's no call to action. Symbols can play a trick on you. So you have to know how to read them, right? You have to be immune to the symbol so you can pay attention to the sign. Okay, cool. How would a man really know if a woman is for the streets? How would he know that? She's beautiful. She's on him. She's telling him the right things, man. He's telling his friends, I think I got the one. I be calling the crib, man. She always answer, right? How would he know if she's for the streets? How would he know? What is the symbol she's giving off? Her beauty. The same way a man presents the bags and the shoes and the symbol of provision and providing. But does it really mean that though? Because how will this man know if this woman is really a monster? How would he know? She could be a beautiful monster. How would he know this though? How would he know that if he gets her pregnant, she's not going to take his child and skip town with somebody else? How would he know? Is it what, she has a bunch of guy friends? Does that make her for the streets? Is it that? Is it, you know what, she likes to hang out with her friends? Is it that? You know, virgins do that too, you know? How would he know that this is Ginger from Casino? Quiet on that one. How would he know? Because this does happen to men. How would he know? Crickets. It was popping when I was talking about the man. But don't be partial. Righteousness is not gender specific. I need the women to tell the men. How would this man know that your sister girl's for the streets? Because it was a lot of input when it was the man. But how will we know the woman is for the streets? Well, number one, the man or men have to be immune to beauty. The men have to be immune to glamour. The fact that you pick a person with your eyes, you're not going to pay attention to signs. Now, here's the thing. Depending on the person's age, this could have been a woman that grew up sheltered though. And she could be a late bloomer with going out. So if she clubs Monday through Sunday, does that mean she's for the streets, especially if the man met her in the club? Remember, this woman could be a virgin. Now, when I say for the streets, I mean the streets is presiding over her, not the man. The streets is providing the influence of what the outside world says. A woman could be for the streets and not actually run the streets. She can be for the streets through her IG. I'll give you an example. If a woman treats a man like a poodle and her happiness is based on what the women in her life say about her man, that's also for the streets. If she has to leverage all the things he does to her sister girls, her mom, or IG for female acceptance, that's for the streets. Because what he does, why does that matter to other women? A lot of women's happiness is based on her ability to show off her man. It ain't just a bromance going on in the world. It's also a real lesbian vibe among women. When he presents you to the ring, what presents you with the ring, how come you posted and said he said yes? Who are you talking to? Look at the comments. You go, girl. Right? I see you. If he said, let's go to the justice of peace, the woman is saying no. Why? Because she needs the sister girls to approve of her. She needs the sister girls to look at her in her wedding dress. It's all about the pictures. It's all about the IG, because trust me, those pictures is going right up on IG. So she could be for the streets without running the streets. Who really has provision here? Is it the man or is it the opinion of her sister girls? But again, how is a guy going to know this? Number one, he would have to be immune to her beauty and look at her from intrinsic value. Be immune to the beauty to pay attention to the signs. Does she volunteer her time somewhere? When y'all go places and she walks in the room and a woman is holding the baby, does she immediately go towards the baby and say, girl, let me help you out with that? When you go to her place, does she have pictures on the wall of her family? Is she traditional in beliefs or secular? And if she's secular, what type of secular? Because there's some secular that is, I want to do what I want to do. Does the secular come with a code? Meaning, if she's not Christian or Muslim or Jewish, those things have codes. Does her secular belief have a code, or is she in the I want to do what I want to do stage? You're never going to know this if you are caught up on the symbol. The sex is also a symbol. It could be a symbol of past violations. You wouldn't know, right? Because you are focused on glamour. Huh. Does she take her wig off in front of you? Ah, for real. Do you ever see her without makeup on around you? You'll never know who this person is. Does she take her wig off? Or she walking around you with a wig on and a face full of makeup in your intimate environments? Because how can we make these promises and these declarations to each other and we don't know each other? What are the signs, man? Signs and symbols go with season. The reason why you're not with that person that you once said, "Oh, I love you, we're going to be together forever." The reason why you're not into some of the things you used to be into, the reason why things are that was once important are not important is because there was a sign and a symbol. There was a symbol or a sign that you weren't going to be interested in that no more. But 9 times out of 10, you was interested in the symbol. You don't even know why you liked what you liked. Let's read the verse again because it's powerful, because it comes in pairs. Because I want you to audit your life. Why are you in the season that you're in? What does this mean? Right? And the person that's in your life, take away the symbol of them, the thing that you like the most, and look at the signs. The signs give you a direction. The symbol is worth 1,000 pictures. So you're going to have to break it down and see, what does this mean? Because the symbol does not mean what you think it means. Have y'all ever seen an ambulance and you see that serpent going up that staff? That's called a caduceus, the staff of Hermes. That symbol means something else. A symbol is something that stands for something else. But what is the something else? So y'all, us, we misread symbols. A woman misreads the symbol. I want a man that protects and provides. Okay. Okay. What does that mean? So if he protects you, what if he just has anger? And you associate that with protection? And what if he gives gifts to trap? Because he's very insecure. A men want beautiful women, fit and feminine and friendly. That's what they say they want, right? Femininity is a symbol. Being fit is a symbol. It doesn't mean nothing. Beauty is a symbol. It does not mean anything. Cooperative. That's a symbol. You know why? Because if you lose the money, is the cooperation still there? See, intrinsic value don't change. The stuff that people are made of don't change. If you solid with money or without it. If you a sucker with money, without it. If you loyal, you go down with the ship. The loyalty does not change because a person pulls up in a nice car. We are dealing with partiality in this age because you don't know how to dive into the symbol. Someone pulls up in a nice car and you automatically give value to the person inside of the car. But the value is who owns the car, who manufactures the car. It's a car. And guess what? They make a newer model every year. The men are associating value with a woman's looks. Y'all say she hits the wall. What does that mean? The value is inside of her, not outside of her. You're looking at the symbol. You're looking at glamour, which is a form of witchcraft. And then you have a sob story when it doesn't work out. But the ill thing about magic, ladies and gentlemen, it needs you to watch it. Gift giving, your interpretation of protecting and providing is based on magic. It's based on your desires. It's based on your preferences. What do you think the devil is or Satan is? It's details. The devil is symbols. Satan is symbols. You can't, but you don't pay attention to that because things and stuff. The man can't see the devil behind the glamour. The woman can't see the devil behind the gifts, behind the provision or what you call masculinity. Oh, because his height. The devil is always going to be in our desires. The devil is nothing but the antithesis of what's really good for us. The devil is in our wants. What you call God is in your needs. You want wine, but you need water. Come on now. The devil is in the things that you desire the most. But the God is in your needs. You don't need a bag. Fellas, you don't need a woman with a big booty. That's what you want. It doesn't mean anything. If you cough right now, does she know what to do? Does she know what to get you? Real spill, the what they're calling high value men or whatever. How come it's a lot of suspect behavior with these individuals? And they got women right on their side too. The women don't care. As long as the desire is provided. Where's the integrity for women? Where's the code for women? Where's the righteous philosophical principles for women? They don't exist? Women don't have code? That's not an expectation? Or is it just look pretty? What does that mean, sis? You will look the other way if a man gives you a gift. What does that say about you? And the fact that nobody can check you, what does that also say? So for men, the woman that can't take correction, that's your sign. She can't be accountable, that's your sign. I don't give a damn how she looks. When you offer correction, she goes 0 to 100. There's no middle. She's talking to you like a stranger on the street. When you come and say, babe, that's not cool, and it's clapping of the hands, that's your sign. You can't tell a woman she's wrong because she's beautiful. Generation of vipers. Every last one of us. Because even I look the other way because of a symbol. A woman's beauty completely had me wrapped up, and I was overlooking all the signs. Want was good for my ego. It made me feel good. Right? It made me feel good. But pay attention to this chapter in Ecclesiastes. It says there's a season for everything except to be foolish, except for stupidity, except to be dumb. And this is why the judgment that comes on us when we're in that season, be strong. It even says there's a time to hate. It's a time of war. It's a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance. Where is ignorant there? Where does it say there's a time not to be righteous? Where does it say there's a time to be jealous? Where does it say there's a time to be a sucker? Where does it say there's a time to be disloyal? Where does it say there's a time for us not to keep our word? It's a season for everything. But it doesn't say there's a season for having no code, though. Oh. Where does it say there's a season for you to be in your feelings? Huh? Season for everything. Season to embrace, season to refrain from embracing, season to plant, season to pluck up what is planted, season to rend, season to sow, season to keep silent, season to speak. When is it a season for a BBL? What season is that? What season is it to pump and dump? What season is that? What season is that on here? That BBL is a symbol. And the eyes, and whoever's eye is attracted to that is the devil. The eye that can't see past that BBL is the devil. They don't see you, beloved. They don't see you. They see the symbol, but they don't see you. And then y'all gonna make a baby. The woman's eyes that see your car, she's the devil, fam. She is the devil. She does not see you. She sees the symbol. And she's associating value to you and don't know you. That's glamour. She can be tricked. She can be tricked. But you have a baby with her. And then when something happens, you say she's for the streets. You got everything to call her but a child of God. You wasn't tripping that she seen your car. She wasn't tripping that she was focused on your money. She don't know your favorite color. She didn't ask you what's your favorite movie. She don't know none of that and don't care. Her eyes are the devil. The devil is not something under the ground. Spiritual warfare is in our minds. It's not in another realm. You really think there's another side where spirits are just beating each other up? Spiritual warfare is in the mind of men and women. That's where the battle is being played, in the mind. It's not these good spirits and bad spirits and they're fighting each other. They're having this war. The war, the spiritual war, is in the mind of men and women. The war is the woman can't tell what kind of man this is because she is looking at the desires. He has money, therefore he has value. No. King Leopold was a king and is responsible for over 10 million dead Africans in the Congo. But he got money. He got value. But then the Jesus that y'all love was riding on a donkey. All this talk about high value man, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't the characteristics be associated with the deity? Because honestly, if you are a Christian man, being Christ-like is the most valuable that you can be. If you are a Muslim, being like Muhammad is the most valuable that you can be. It ain't got nothing to do with a damn job. It got nothing to do with a damn network. You're not even following your faith. Y'all some hypocrites. You only refer to the scriptures when it's gender roles. All this talk about high value man, but it has nothing to do with Jesus and y'all some Christians. All this talk about high value man and it has nothing to do with the Prophet Muhammad and you a Muslim. Devilish eyes. And you got the tongue of vipers. So please start training yourself to pay attention to the signs. Remember, the signs is a call to action. It's telling you to do something. Follow this. And the symbol is something that stands for something else. What is the something else? Gestures and all that, those are symbols. Y'all good? All right. We're not going to be long today. Listen, show you something. This is Pope Gregory. Gregory is responsible for uh, uh, instilling the Gregorian calendar. Before that, it was the Julian calendar. Now, this is Western civilization: Greek, Rome, Macedonia, Canada, Australia. Boom. Right? I'm not going to get into the science of calendars right now, but I had to show you and let you know that we are not on real time. We are on something called the Gregorian calendar, and that comes from Pope Gregory. So if you want to do your own research on that, be my guest. Now, do you notice it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 and skips 2 weeks? Well, that was because there was a conversion of calendars. So there's days missing, time missing. We are not on real time. We are on man's time. But to get on real time, you have to tap into your emotions, because your emotion is going to tell you the time, which is going to let you know the season. We have been taught that our emotions go in conversations. We have been taught that our emotion goes into relationships. Our emotions is for the environment. If you ask yourself, what should I do? And you think this to yourself, it should ping off your emotions. What should I do? A conversation back to you. Like a tennis ball. You serve it and it comes back to you. I feel like it's time to go. I'm early. Right? Your emotions are for the atmosphere, it's for the environment. It's not for this conversation. I don't like how you said that. That's not for your emotions. You make me happy. How? That's an inside feeling. How did I do that? We don't have emotional intelligence. We're on the wrong time. How does a new day start when the sun is not out? That's to let you know. You can set the clock forward and backwards. We're not on real time. We're on man's time. But for you to get on your time, you're going to have to tap into your emotions the right way, the exact way. And it's not for you to be in your feelings. Have you ever had a conversation and you hear people say, well, I just feel like, well, I just feel like, well, I just feel like. That's wrong, because the emotions don't go in this conversation. That's not effective listening. Your emotion should tell you when your loved one is in trouble. Your emotion should tell you that your child is about to make a bad decision. You can feel it. Your emotion should tell you what season it is. How do the birds know that it's time to migrate? They fly in this formation. When one goes this way, they go that way. When that one goes up, they go up. And the bird that is not part of that formation is the bird that gets picked off by a predator. How do they know? The emotions is to know without knowing. To be able to think without thinking. That's our emotions. And it's very hard and it's very difficult for us to understand or read signs and symbols if we are not in tune with our emotions. I don't do no talking. I don't do no talking. All that that just represents you're an animal. That represents that you don't know how to use your emotions. They are using you. And that's why you don't do no talking, because you can't find the words. Because that animal nature has taken over and you can't control yourself. I don't do no talking. You don't use your words? Or you on Pope Gregory's time. Just the time you on. Pope Gregory. This is his calendar. Man even controls the time. We are trapped in the time of someone else. So yeah, we'll use this calendar to make a date and go to work. But when it's time for problem solving and it's time for community and be in tune with your loved ones, you got to use your emotions, but not in the way of the animal. Use your emotion to have that silent conversation with somebody next to you. When you get up, they get up. You're able to read them. The same way those birds flying in that V-shaped formation can read each other. What are they using for that? Some call it instincts. For us, it's emotions. Just to know without knowing. So we want to get off Pope Gregory's time. We'll use that to go to work, but let's not use that time to tell what season it is. Let's use and fine tune our emotions for that. Y'all with me? Everything good? I'm going to take my only break so I can get water, and then I'm going to wrap this thing up. I want to talk about the present is the only present that we can receive. And we'll wrap this up. Let me get a drink. Be right back. Don't let nobody trick you into thinking that you can't do it. Don't let nobody trick you into thinking that you was just born to suffer.
Right.
Don't let nobody trick you into believing that your dreams are impossible. See, when you got game, you can make the impossible possible. When you got game, you defy the odds.
Yo.
When you got game, you make things happen. Things don't happen to you.
Talk that shit, Ken.
All things is possible with game, baby. Take it from me. I done did it from Maine to Spain.
Come through the door with it.
My game cost me. I paid for it. So you should too. Hit that Cash App. Pay like you weigh. Whatever you got is good, baby. Just bring it to the table. Can't Billions. So I want to talk about the present being the only present. The present being the only present. The past is not your present. That's important. I talked about the Medes being the magicians. The magicians have found a way to make the past your present. If you are identify as African Americans, you are living in the present moment and all you see is the past. You don't even know that you're here right now. You can't even feel the moment. You can't even get to your next phase in life because you believe that you're in the past. The only thing that matters is now. The past don't even matter. You don't even know if it actually happened. The production, that's a production. Hmm? A movie is created to tell you about the past. And the brain can't differentiate what's real and what's fake. And you actually think that that happened. Illustrations and pictures. And you think that that happened, but did it? But does it even matter? Does it matter? Why does it matter? They say if you don't know your past, you don't know where you're going. No, if you don't know how to read signs, you don't know where you're going. It's the sign that tells you where you're going, not the past. The sign tells you where you're going, right? You so much in the past that you have nothing in the future. What is coming is the most important thing, not what was. Not what was. What is to be is the most important thing. If I tried to erase the past for you, you would fight me. If I said I'm going to erase lynching from your memory, you would fight me and say, no, I want that. If I erase trauma out of your life, you would fight me and say, no, I want that. If I said, let's erase the memory completely and give you a clean slate, you would argue and fight with me to the death because you draw power from that, even though at the current moment you're powerless. So you draw power from it, but you're powerless. The only thing you need to know from the past for real is where a particular constellation is and where it's going to be later. The only thing from the past that you need to know are geological events that can affect the civilization you live in now. Let's nerd out real quick. There's things called Earth crust displacement. When the ground moves, the North Pole can become the South Pole, right? How do you think all these animals and plants are all over the planet? It's people everywhere. They tell you a group of people migrated through the Bering Strait and just waves of people kept going in that direction. Why? Why would people continue to go that way? And how did they survive? Thousands of people just kept going in that direction, and that's how the Americas was populated? Or did a geological event happen so massive that the earth cracked with people in every place in the world? You just think people from the Fiji Islands and the Philippines and in that region got in a boat and went to Australia? Why? You just think people left South America and traveled to Easter Island. How did people get to Hawaii? They just one day, magically, it's too crowded over here. We're going to get in boats. Really? Just South America just has all these people there. Really? And they walked. They walked, right? The polar bear. How did the polar bear get there? Right? You have a desert cat, a land cat, a mountain cat, a tropical cat. They all just evolved by walking. Right? No, it would behoove us to study earth crust displacement. I think we should know if land masses sunk in the water, because when I look at the people of Bahia, Brazil, they really look a little bit like people from West Africa. And I don't think they came on slave ships, not all of them. That's a different topic. But my point is, if we're going to look in the past, we look at the things that's happening with our planet that's going to affect us in the future, Okay? Eclipses and geological events. Let me take my tinfoil hat off real quick. Right? That matters. Interesting. Y'all like nerd stuff. Okay, copy. Okay. Y'all like, forget that Bible. Talk about Graham Hancock. I got to. But the past is not your present. Y'all love trauma. Trauma, trauma, trauma. The conversation is full of, you don't know how I got like this. It don't even matter, honestly. It does not matter that your father is the reason you're like this. I don't care. We can get rid of the thought completely. Do you want to get rid of the thought? No. You want to go and tell and vent to everybody how you got like this. But the thing is, fam, you got to be in the moment. You got to be in the now. Do you know anybody that ever existed? The only thing that we have in common is now. Whether this was 1640 or 5,000 years ago, guess what people were experiencing? Now. 3,000 years from right now, people are going to experience the now. Looking through this window, waking up, how the hell did I get here? And everyone's going to just view this Ready Player One kind of life, the now, right now. This is all you have. The past doesn't matter. What are you going to do with the now? Seasons. It is not a season to talk about trauma. And the thing that's going to hurt you the most when I say this, your ancestors are not dead. They are now. Because you know how I know? Your ancestors are the birds, the trees, the water, the sun, the moon. Your ancestors are not just people. Your ancestors is life. I thought you can't destroy energy. So the only way that you can experience your ancestors is in the now. When we die, we release something. It's in the now. But I'll do you one better. Are any of your ancestors people that are not born yet? What about them? Y'all haven't even given them the thought. You're so focused on Black Wall Street. What about the people that are not even born yet? Are you connected to them too? You don't even care about them. You're not even thinking about them. Your focus is on the dead. You don't care about what's to come. That's a mistake. The best way to live forever is people saying your name, people building edifices of you, people completing your completed works, and deifying things you already done. And if y'all don't focus on the moment right now, no one later is going to say your name. If no one later says your name, you are dead. You never existed. If they don't try to complete your uncompleted things, you are dead. If they don't build edifices of you, you are dead. And if they don't exalt your completed works, you are dead. Many of you haven't started anything. The only thing you've done is had children. That is it. That's not an accomplishment. The only thing you've done is be petty and angry and have sex and eat and do nothing. So how can somebody complete your uncompleted things? How can they exalt things you've completed? You ain't did anything. You scared to take a risk. You haven't created anything. You're the season. You are stuck in 1619. They are playing a mind game on you. You're watching Elon Musk try to put a human on Mars, and you're still talking about reparations. Nothing is going to happen unless you get that. The people of the future ain't going to say your name. Not one time. They're not going to elevate your completed work. They are not going to finish your uncompleted things. And they are not going to build edifices of you. It would be like you were never here because you don't know the season. To everything, there's a season and a time to every purpose under the sun, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to reframe from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. My prayer for you is that whoever you are, you know how to read signs and symbols, and you know how to identify the season that you're in. That's all I got. Thank you for coming. Have a great day. Think about your season. My name is Ken Billions. Remember, some superheroes wear capes. Others just have waves. Until the next time, everybody. Peace.
Biggest game is like, remember we was all back in high school? Some of you may be still in high school or whatever, but follow me. We had the regular class and then you had honors class. And I feel like Ken Billion's game is nothing but honors class. Everything that you learned in life and been through in life or whatever he's talking about at that certain time. And, like point of reference, game for guys. Everybody learn game from somebody and this and that, and it's all over the place. But once I listen to Game for Guys, it's like being in an honors class. Ken is a brilliant guy. I still listen to him to this day. Listen to him almost every other day, and I stay studying. And if I look at his video and he's giving us homework, I'm gonna look through that video. I'm gonna write my notes down. I'm gonna do my homework. Then I'm gonna watch the next video. I mean, you just can't get enough of the game and the knowledge that this brother brings to you. He's allowed me to look back into history, my own history. I found out about black people that I never even knew about, black millionaires and people like that. Recently, I learned about the reticular activating system, and that's something that I'm studying up on as we speak. Which I plan on reprogramming myself. You know what I'm saying? So overall, the Ken Billion's game has done a lot for me. It's allowed me to elevate as a man, as a father. It just allowed me to be more excited about life and not be in the program of being oppressed. And that's one of the main things for me that I have to say that this game has done for me. I'm so glad that I ran across it.